Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jen from BeautyBuyGen, and I just want to know, would you rather do state time or federal time? Okay, so today I'm talking about the federal trial for Ahmaud Arbery's trial that begins on February 7th at 9 a.m. at a courthouse in Brunswick, Georgia. The three men involved in Ahmaud's murder have already been sentenced in the state court, and now they have to go before the federal court. The three men were charged by the federal grand jury in April. Recently, Ahmaud's mother stated that she was unhappy with the decision and the deal that was presented for the federal prison time for the men, because she would rather the men do state prison time in a state prison. Now, of course, we don't know the outcome of the federal trial yet, but my question is, if the three men were to get convicted in federal court, would it be tougher for them to do federal time or state time? I really want to know. So I did do a little research, a little Google searching. And first I wanted to find out what each prison is designed to do. So I found out that federal prisons are where people who have committed federal crimes or have been accused of violating federal laws are incarcerated at. Now, federal crimes include crimes committed across state borders and against government officials, institutions, and agents. Also, federal prisons incarcerate people charged with white-collar crimes such as money laundering, racketeering, and fraud. Now, state prisons, on the other hand, is where people who have violated or have been accused of violating state laws, that's where they are incarcerated at. These violations are committed in a single state and are usually handled by the state police. Examples of these crimes are murder, the R word, and gun-related offenses. Federal prisons are managed by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, which is a federal law enforcement agency under the Department of Justice. State prisons are managed by state authorities. Federal prisons are funded by the federal government and they get bigger budgets. This means that these prisons have better services like the food, the rehabilitation programs, the training programs, and state prisons are typically funded by the tax money generated by the state, and some people consider them to be poorly managed. Not my opinion. And some will also say they have inadequate rehabilitation programs for inmates. Now, there are a lesser number of federal prisons and there are more state prisons. If someone is held in a federal prison, they can be sent to any other federal prison in the country. If someone is held in a state prison, they serve their entire sentence there. When a person is convicted, federal prison sentences tend to be longer than state prison sentences. And many federal charges have mandatory minimum sentences for convicted people. Sometimes they're not always longer than state mandated penalties for similar crimes. That is what? Federal prisons have relatively higher security levels than state prisons. The majority of both federal and state prisons are isolated from the surrounding cities and are enclosed by high walls, electrified fences, barbed wires, and heavily armed guards that are about that action. Sorry. There is a perception that federal prisons are safer, unlike state prisons. State prisons are considered to be less safe. Federal prisons have fewer numbers of inmates compared to state prisons, and all federal prisons have the same color uniforms. And state prisons have different color uniforms. Now, although there are a lot of differences between a federal and a state prison, they do have some similarities. They both have chaplains who inform the next of kin for burial arrangements if need be. They both have good security levels. They both are funded by tax money. They both have separate facilities for males and females. They both have programs for counseling and drug addiction programs and drug addiction treatment. They both focus on rehabilitation, and they both have different custody levels for persons convicted for different levels of crimes. And that's pretty much all of the differences and the things that are the same. So, of course, you don't have to take my word for it. I know I don't want to go to either or, state or federal. Not for me. I would not make it. But that's that on that. So it's up to you if you want to go there or not. I wouldn't recommend anybody go, but thank y'all for dropping by, and please leave a comment in the comment box and subscribe to my channel. And I know this was long. I hope it wasn't too boring for y'all, and bye.